What do you picture when you hear the word hippie? Is it a flower child with a guitar, singing about peace and love? That's the image most of us have, right? But what if I told you that image was carefully curated, even manipulated, by the very forces the hippie movement was protesting against? Today, we are pulling back the curtain on one of the most fascinating and misunderstood chapters of American history. The deceptive dance between the hippies, the media, and the US government. The 1960s weren't just about peace signs and psychedelic rock. It was a time of immense social and political upheaval. The civil rights movement was gaining momentum, and opposition to the Vietnam War was growing louder every day. The hippie movement was at the heart of this counterculture, a generation questioning authority, rejecting materialism, and advocating for a radically different way of life. They weren't just kids with long hair. They were a genuine threat to the status quo. And the government knew it. Enter the FBI and its infamous COINTELPRO, or counterintelligence program. This wasn't some minor surveillance operation. It was a systematic, often illegal effort to disrupt and neutralize political organizations deemed subversive. And the anti-war movement, deeply intertwined with hippie culture, was a prime target. The FBI didn't just listen in on phone calls. They engaged in psychological warfare.
They forged letters to create conflict between movement leaders, planted false stories in the media to discredit them, and used informants to sow paranoia and distrust from within.
They even sent agents provocateurs into peaceful protests to incite violence, all to paint the movement as dangerous and chaotic.
Imagine trying to organize a peaceful march when you can't trust the person standing next to you. That was the reality they created.
The mainstream media, far from being an impartial observer, often played right into the government's hands. Instead of focusing on the serious political critiques of the hippies, their opposition to war, their calls for social justice, and their environmental concerns, the media focused on the spectacle. They sensationalized the drug use, the unconventional clothing, and the communal living. The hippie became a caricature, a lazy, naive, and often ridiculous figure. This served a dual purpose. First, it trivialized their message, making it easy for mainstream America to dismiss their serious political arguments. Second, it sold newspapers and boosted TV ratings. The freak show was entertaining. Complex political dissent, not so much. By framing the counterculture as a lifestyle choice rather than a political movement, the media helped defang it. It became a trend, something you could buy into with a tie-dye shirt and a beaded necklace. The core message of anti-consumerism and radical social change was lost, replaced by a commercialized version of hippie chic. The revolutionary spirit was commodified. This wasn't an accident. It was the perfect outcome for a government that wanted the movement to simply fade away. If you can turn a revolution into a fashion statement, you've already won. So, the next time you see that classic image of a flower-crowned hippie, remember the complex reality behind it. Remember a genuine movement for peace and justice that was actively targeted, infiltrated, and undermined by its own government. Remember a media that often chose sensationalism over substance, helping to dilute a powerful message. The story of the hippies is not just about music festivals and groovy vans. It's a powerful lesson in how ideas are controlled and how history is written. It reminds us to always question the narrative, especially when it's the most comfortable one. Thanks so much for watching. If this piece of hidden history fascinated you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories you thought you knew. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious.